How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I just beat Hogwarts Legacy, so I'm going to do a quick and dirty review on it, essentially. My thoughts about the game, and things like whether I should, or whether I would recommend it to you guys or to anybody. So, right off the bat, I do want to say that I enjoyed the game. If you're into fantasy, if you're into magic, things like that, you're going to enjoy the game, I believe, even if you're not a Harry Potter fan. And this is because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I didn't come into this game with really too much knowledge about Harry Potter. Obviously, I've watched the movies growing up. It was pretty much my era, my childhood. So I watched all the movies. I read the books growing up, but that was when I was a kid. I have kind of forgotten a lot of the things that have happened in the lore of it, and stuff like that. But I still like, the castle and the setting and all that type of stuff. But if you're a Harry Potter fan, this game automatically doesn't need a review because it doesn't matter. This, hands down, is the best Harry Potter game, best Wizarding World game that you could play on the market right now. This, hands down. Most detailed. You could walk around for hours around the castle and just get lost. And if you are a fan of the books and a fan of the movies, then you're going to even more so get lost in these locations. So right off the bat, if you're a fan of Harry Potter and that stuff, this isn't a review for you, because I would just say buy the game, support the company that came out with the game. They did a pretty good job for what they got. It's not no AAA game. There's still some flaws. The game is not perfect by any means, but that being said, it was still a fun and enjoyable experience. So essentially, you get to pick your own house. You get to be either Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, or Slytherin. You get to follow in the footsteps of being a student at Hogwarts itself. And throughout the story, you uncover different things. You learn new spells. And I believe there is a total of 22 spells that you eventually learn throughout the game, which is a good amount. You pretty much can mix and match these, and also throughout the game, as you level up and do things, you eventually gain this kind of weapon wheel, as a sense. And there's 4 spells that you originally get to use, but as you progress, you get multiple sets, and you can get up to 4 sets of 4. So essentially, you can use 16 spells at any given time. Now, as I mentioned, there's like 22 spells you get unlocked. So with the combination of 16, you can mix and match. You get these 16 spells to use. So that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome that you have a variety of gameplay, because right there, if you did want to play another round of this game, another run, I should say, there's ways that you can kind of mix it up and be like, well, I used these spells primarily from the first playthrough, so I'm going to try and use most of these spells. There is a possibility of that. I will say, for me, based on how I play games, and like I should mention, I am a gamer first and foremost. I'm not a journalist. I am a gamer. So when I play games, especially games that I pay $70 for, and I paid $80 for this game because I got the deluxe edition, I'm gonna play the crap out of it. And what I do is I play it to its fullest, and I go through everything that I can on my first run. So what that means for me is, unless I really, 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 really want to play another run, I usually don't. Will I play another run in this game? Probably not, because I've kind of gone through it, I've gotten everything, and I've enjoyed it to my fullest. I don't think I personally need to do another run, me personally. That being said, it's not a bad game to have another playthrough if you must. It's actually quite enjoyable, and I really enjoyed my time into it. Now, in the nitty-gritty of things, like I said, I'm a gamer, and I play this game to pretty much its completion. I have a completion playlist located on my channel. I believe there's 25 parts, and I have gotten to about 95% of the game, collecting all the collectibles and all that stuff. So if you want to watch that, that is below. It has no commentary. It's just the pure gameplay, pure raw gameplay for people to enjoy. I've been enjoying making that kind of footage. That way you can just watch a game, enjoy it. You don't have to necessarily hear anyone talking over it. You can enjoy it for what it is and see if it's something that you would want to play, as opposed to trying to watch a playthrough or something where people are just jabbering the whole time. I know there's each their own, you know. I enjoy both, so this is just the content for right now that I want to put out. Either way, pure gameplay. Now, I will say that the game has different customizations that are pretty cool, but the game is not too fleshed out, if that makes sense. The game is still pretty simple, but that's not a bad thing. There are things that they could have probably fleshed out more or done things a certain way, but they're not a AAA company. So this is kind of their first game, and I say that as Portkey Games, their first big game. I know they made some other games. I think a Cars game, maybe a Toy Story game. I think I've heard them make. I'm not too sure about that second one, but this is their first jab at like a real hardcore game. And I have to say that I actually think they did pretty good. Some of the story elements were a little to be desired. I think some things could have been drawn out more. Some things were kind of pushed along very quickly, especially towards the late game. And, you know, certain things how they did that, but that could all just be from a certain person's perspective. Not necessarily everyone is going to feel that way. Some people might just love the story, and that's fine. Say the open world is actually pretty fleshed out. It's pretty big. There's a lot of areas to explore and discover, a lot of tombs, a lot of different just things to just kind of get lost in, which is pretty good, I do have to say. Combat is fun. This is one thing I really enjoy most about the game is the combat. I actually think the wand play, like the magic and the spells, is actually really well done. And I don't think we've seen this in any other game before this game, how it works. I think it works really, really well, especially using all the different spells and continuously using them and switching and using different ones like a frost spell and then switching to a fire spell and then switching to a spell where you can levitate people and then switching to one where you can take all the people and throw them to the ground or push them away. You know, there's so many different spells and combinations that you can do, so like the gameplay kind of feels fluid and fun and different every time you fight. Even though they're the same enemies, it feels different because you can kind of mix and match how you're fighting. So I do like that. Bits and parts that I don't like about the game, I would say on the end it is pretty basic. Now if you're looking for a game that is groundbreaking, that is gripping, that is like the story is so gripping and suspenseful and things like that, this isn't that game. Does it have a good story? Yeah, it has a good cohesive story. Is the combat and the gameplay fun? Yes, it's fun. But is it challenging? No. Is it overly difficult? No. Is it incredibly easy? No, not really. Is there how do I put this? Is there lots of things, diverse things that you can do? And this is when I would say yes and no. There are a lot of collectibles, but at the same time, you're doing a lot of the things the same. So, for instance, there might be these ancient magic things that you go and collect. And you got to collect, you know, like 12 of them or whatever. And that completes that collection. Okay? And so you're running around the world trying to find them. Or there's things like balloons that you pop, or astronomy tables, or these Merlin trials that upgrade your gear. Now, all these things are scattered throughout the map, and you go and do them. They're cool, they're fun, but they're not incredibly challenging. So if you're looking for a game to be challenged, then I wouldn't say this is the game. If you're just looking for a game to have fun in, I definitely think this game is fun. It's not too hard, pretty easy. None of the puzzles throughout the game, I found myself maybe even being on it for more than 5-10 minutes if it was challenging. And I don't really recall having a challenging puzzle. So this game is on the tamer side in that sense, and I think they did that on purpose because they want it to be accessible to a lot of different people, and that's fine. Overall, for this game, I would probably give it about an 8.5, 8.7. It's pretty close to being a 9 in my book, because I really enjoyed my time playing it, like I said. I've had fun playing it. I put in about 60 hours into this game, I'm actually on the pause menu right now as I'm recording this video, so I'm gonna check real quick, double check what I have. So I have exactly 52 hours put into the game right now. And like I said, I've pretty much done everything. I have collectible wise, and I'll probably show up in the video, almost 100% on everything except for one part of the game, which is the room of requirement, and that's where you can breed different animals and stuff like that. I didn't really find that too entertaining, so I only did the portions that were part of the story mode, and I didn't really do it too much because that wasn't really for me. I did dabble in it a little bit, but I didn't 100% it. So that's pretty much the only spot that I didn't 100%. But exploration wise, all the different collectible field guide like pages that you get, the quests and the combat throughout the game, I did pretty much 100%. And I have to say I really enjoyed it. So like I said, I give this game a solid 8.5, 8.7. There are things about this game that I really, really enjoy, and there's things that I didn't quite enjoy. Now, this review is one that I wanted to put out for people that can watch it and listen to it without having to fear being spoiled. I didn't say any crazy main plot points because I actually think if you play this game, you should play it without being spoiled. That's how I did, and that's why I enjoyed it. If there was parts that I knew about this game already going in, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much because maybe I wouldn't have been surprised or whatever. So I want to keep kind of story elements out of it, but on just a base level of gameplay and story wise, the story was good in my opinion, and the gameplay is kind of where it shined. I really like the combat in this game. I like the way the spells work, and that was kind of my shining star in the whole game itself. So yeah, if you're into fantasy, if you're into magic and stuff like that, even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, I'd say check it out. Worst case scenario, if you're still on the fence, I'll put a link to the playlist of this whole playthrough, so you guys can check it out. And just I'm not telling you to watch the whole thing, but maybe just skim through a couple parts, pop through different videos, just skim through a couple parts and check out different things. I'm exploring a dungeon, or maybe I'm fighting some enemies, or whatever. Exploring the open world or doing whatever. Just feel free to check it out. But I definitely think it's a recommend in my book. Like I said, if you're into fantasy, if you're into open world games, if you're into stuff like magic and stuff like that, you're gonna like it. You don't got to be a Harry Potter fan. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's a no-brainer. You should just buy it. You're gonna enjoy it. So thanks for watching. That's gonna be all. And I appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Take it easy. Have a good one.